morning, everyone. Welcome back. So last week we had talked about guinea pig bonding or introductions, how to determine a failed introduction versus a successful introduction. Today, let's talk a little bit further about that. Let's talk more about what your next steps are if the introduction fails. So if your guinea pig bonding attempt has failed, the next steps might include separating your guinea pigs immediately. Reassess their personalities and potential pairings. You want to consider maybe a different partner, or if you need to provide individual enrichment, and if necessary, maybe consulting a vet or an experienced guinea pig rescue for guidance on how to find a suitable companion or address potential underlying medical issues that might be there. So if you have a hard bonding and two of those guinea pigs fought but the rest get along, you may opt to separate the two individuals that were fighting and leave the rest as a herd, or you may choose to separate them as their original herds that they were. But the first thing you want to do is immediately separate the two that were fighting. You are going to want to do basically a health check on each individual guinea pig from that introduction session. You are going to want to check them over, ensure that there's no injuries, or if there is injuries, you want to clean the wounds and treat whatever necessary. So if you see signs of aggression like biting or first standing up, like their hair's like all, picture yourself in like an electrical shock and your hair's just like all over the place. You might witness excessive chasing. You're going to want to separate them before injury happens. But if it happens, if injuries do occur, you now know that those two guinea pigs are definitely not compatible. So I personally don't think there's a sense in trying those two again a different day. Some people do, and some people have success, but out of everybody I've spoken to and my personal own experience, once they fight, done. No, won't do it again. So you're going to want to analyze the situation. Do the personalities have do their personalities crash and collide, or do they mesh well? Every guinea pig has a distinct personality trait, and sometimes the pairings just simply won't work because of incompatible temperaments. And it's not rare. It's natural. It happens all the time, every day. Sometimes a dominant guinea pig might be too aggressive towards the submissive ones. They might not necessarily get into a fight, but if a dominant piggy is preventing a submissive guinea pig from eating, or not allowing them out of the hiding corners or anything like that, those are not good behaviors, and the pairing should be split up. And as I've mentioned previously, stress factors, changes in environment, new introductions, health concerns can impact an introduction. So what can you do if you have a single guinea pig or a lone pig that just won't bond with another one? Well, you can provide extra attention, provide more playtime, cuddles for the guinea pig, offer more stimulating, enriching toys like chew toys and tunnels, things like that. Offer a variety of toys that will keep them mentally engaged. Provide their cage with more enrichment. Ensure their individual cage has plenty of hiding spots and maybe different levels to explore. Maybe you've got a bit of a younger piggy and they might want to explore a loft area. Or maybe they get zoomies a lot and they would benefit from having a little, kind of like a racetrack almost. There's so many different ways that you can provide extra enrichment that you just need to look for the resources. Now, in my own personal experience with females that have failed introductions, 9 times out of 10, it's because of a medical illness. There's usually 80% success rate that any 2 females will get along. And on the odd times that my females have not gotten along, it was due to a hormonal imbalance. Now, there could be other medical issues going on that is just upsetting the guinea pig, and they just couldn't be bothered with being around another pig. We don't know what goes on in their little brains, but it is extremely important that we do not portray our emotions onto the guinea pig. We need to pretend we are the guinea pig and figure out what makes them tick, what makes them happy, and then go with it. If you know your guinea pig doesn't get along with any other guinea pig and you've tried and tried and tried and tried, it's okay to have them living side by side. There is nothing wrong with that. It does not mean that you will be considered a bad guinea pig owner. It does not mean your guinea pig will get depressed from not having a live-in cage mate. It is okay. Matteo and Bruno are side by side. They did live together for about 2 months and then a fight broke out and I split them up and I have not put them together since. Matteo is perfectly content living side by side. He gets the zoomies, he popcorns, he still eats and drinks and pees and poops. Bruno is an older boy. Yeah, he'd love to have a cage mate, but he's okay on his own because he still has Matteo beside him. And they can still talk with the girls that are upstairs. So, it's okay to have a solo guinea pig if they have other of the same species within the vicinity. When it comes to trying to find the perfect match for your guinea pig, if you have a solo guinea pig and you want to find a friend so they can have be cage mates, I do highly recommend doing your research and finding a registered rescue that will allow interim guinea pig introductions. Now, when a rescue does guinea pig introductions, usually it's a very busy place. There's distractions, there's noise. So the idea for them is just to get a basic idea of whether their personalities will mesh well or not. It is then still up to you as the guinea pig owner to go home and redo that introduction session again, but in a more quiet environment, so that you can determine for certain that they will mesh well. And usually, the more you do this, the more videos you might watch of guinea pig introductions, or bondings as most people call it, the more you will learn the guinea pig behaviors, and you will know usually within the first 15 to 30 minutes if their personalities are going to clash or mesh. So just keep in mind, if you've done a guinea pig introduction and it didn't go well, it failed, they got into a fight, or just one of them is really bullying, it's more so if they had a fight. You'll know if they had a fight because you will see the 2 guinea pigs going flying all over the place. And we definitely don't want that. So if that does happen, make sure you separate immediately. Do not, absolutely do not put your bare hand in the cage or in any area that two guinea pigs are fighting, because they're not going to know the difference between your hand and the other guinea pig. Then they're going to latch on and you can get seriously hurt. So never do that. You always want to have your hand wrapped in like a towel, a blanket, an oven mitt even. Just anything with a protective barrier, so that if for any reason they do happen to latch on, it will be very minimal to you, if at all. But you will want to separate them and let them calm down a little bit. You want to assess them physically. So as if you were doing a health check, you are going to, I'll demonstrate. So we are going to pretend that Bruno here is the one that may have gotten into a fight, hypothetically. You are going to want to look at their nose, look at their mouth, look at their eyes, make sure that there's no injuries. You are going to want to feel around. You're going to want to feel them around to make sure that there's no cuts, abrasions. You're going to look for signs of any blood, maybe. Now, granted, of course, he did not get into a fight recently, so we're not going to find anything on him. But you are basically going to want to do your a typical health check to make sure that you're not finding anything that needs attention. And that includes checking his counterparts down below here. So he's got nothing there. He's not happy with what I'm doing right now. Why won't that come out? There we go. Okay, it's clean. Sneaky but clean. But you are going to just want to look them over. You're going to want to look them over and just, make sure that there's no injuries. If there is any injuries, depending where the injury is, if it's, let's say, right there above their nose, then you're going to want to take maybe some saline solution, cleanse the wound, make sure your hands are clean so you don't transfer any bacteria. And you can apply like a neosporin or polysporin, a thin layer over the wound, and then just monitor it. If you notice their lip got split open or something, you're naturally going to want to make sure that the bleeding has stopped. You'll want to make sure that the bleeding, has stopped. And again, depending on the location, you can take a very, very thin layer of an antibiotic ointment to cover up that wound and just help kill any bacteria. And as long as the bleeding has stopped, there's no need to go to a vet. But if you do, that's on you, that's your choice. Some injuries might require a vet and most don't. You would be surprised how quickly guinea pigs can heal. When Matteo and Bruno got into a fight and Bruno had his lip injured, he had a cut on his lip as well as down that little stripe around the nose. Yeah, he had a cut there. All I did was, at first when I noticed it, I took a baby wipe and it was an unscented baby wipe, just for the record. I gently patted that area because that was the quickest thing I had beside me. Quickly patted the area to just wipe off anything. I did not, rub it really hard. I didn't want the scab to come off or anything bad to happen. So I just gently patted it to kind of clean it a little bit. And then I brought him upstairs to the bathroom or to whatever area where you had their medical emergency kit. And then I took a fresh, clean cloth or paper towel, and then I put the saline solution on it and I cleaned it properly. Actually, I think I used a Q-tip. But within 3 days, it was already healing and there was no pain. he didn't have problems eating or anything. Now, some guinea pigs might have problems eating, and that's when you pull out the critical care and you just supplement until they start eating again on their own. But you know your guinea pigs best, and you need to be in tune with your guinea pigs if there's injuries to know what the next step would be. But the ultimate next step when a guinea pig gets into a fight is to separate them. Separate them. But hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but chances are it will, especially if you are a guinea pig owner and you have multiple guinea pigs or you want to get more. Just because we're talking about this, it does not mean your guinea pigs are going to fight. That is never any guarantee, whether female or male. I hope this video has been resourceful, and I hope you can take away from some of this information that I'm sharing with you. And comment down below, let me know your experiences, if your guinea pigs have ever gotten into a fight, what you did, what you didn't do. Did you notice injuries maybe a week later, months later? And it shouldn't be months later, but, you know, did you separate them right away? Did you let them keep going? There's going to be no judgment here from me. We are all here to learn and share our knowledge and experiences. So comment down below, let me know. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all again next time. Bye!